Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. I do believe it's Friday. I think I messed up the day of the week every day this week, and it's probably because I worked on Monday, which was my day off. Supposed to be my day off. So I worked on my day off. So I think Monday was Tuesday, and after that, I don't know what day it is, but I know today is Friday because the weekend is here. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I am ready for it. I don't know about you all. I'm ready for the weekend. Not to mention, not to say that it hadn't been a really good week in the Word, because it's been a good week in the Word, and I love these. This just being with you regularly every day is what sets my clock. It's what sort of recalibrates my soul, and I love it, and I thank you for it. And I'm loving Job, you all. I just feel just really rewarded for just this study, and it's not over, but chapters 28 and 29, I just love, and I've loved Job the whole time. My heart just goes out to this guy, and I love the way he has fought through his pain and just come out to a beautiful place. And he's not even there yet. The Lord hadn't shown up yet in his great moment. But chapters 28 and 29, Job sort of, again, the dialogue with the friends, like I said yesterday, it's ended now. And so Job turns more inward. This is more like a soliloquy that you could say. And you're going to see it sort of move in three parts. Chapters 28, 29, 30, 31 are all Job speaking. Chapter 28 is kind of a meditation on wisdom. And I love it. I just love it. Again, it's a soliloquy. If you've ever, watched a Shakespeare play or like seen Hamlet, when Hamlet steps aside, it's like, to be or not to be, he's thinking out loud, speaking to himself more than anything else. This is Job in chapter 28. He's thinking out loud. It's a soliloquy. He's thinking about wisdom. I love where this is going because, again, Job and his friends have been pondering the deepest, darkest questions of human existence to no avail. Nobody knows. And that's finally what Job comes out. You dummies don't know anything. I can't answer the questions either. Only God can, but he's not talking. This is the anguish of Job, asking these unanswerable questions. And so now Job stands back and just, thinks of wisdom in general. And basically what he's saying is it's not available to us, not the real wisdom, not the answers that we need. And I love it. I just think it's beautiful. Chapter 28 begins with, I guess this chapter is sort of in three sections. The first section, probably verses 1 to 11, depending on what you do with verses 12 and 13, 14, but it begins with this sort of meditation on practical wisdom, the things we know how to do. I would call it know-how wisdom. And as I've kind of worked through the chapter, I've underlined those words, know-how, know-how, know-how. People know how to shine light in the darkness, explore the farthest regions of the earth as they search in the dark for ore. Notice how in this first section, Job keeps going back to the fact that people know where to find stuff. They know where to find stuff that's hard to find. People know where to mine silver, how to refine gold. They know how to dig iron from the dust, how to smelt copper from the rock. You see that? So they're able to take these precious things from their source. Iron from the earth, from the dust, copper from the rock. They know where to find silver and gold. So see, these are valuable things that have a source, and people know how to get them. People know where to find them. They know how to sink a mine shaft into the earth, far from where anybody lives. They descend on ropes and swing back and forth. Food is grown from the earth. Again, everything important to us, we know how to get it from its source. There are treasures no bird of prey can see, no falcon's eye observe, no wild animal has ever walked upon these treasures, but people know how, People know how to dig, people know how to mine, people know how to go after it and get it. You see that? So Job is sort of praising the wisdom that we have, and it's really pretty amazing. The know-how of people, what people can do. People know how to make an iPhone. People know how to, send out a broadcast, like I'm talking right now and you're hearing me right now, but I don't know where you are. We have people who watch and listen to 10 from Tim from all around the world. And I just think that's amazing, but I don't know how we do it. People are amazing and human wisdom is amazing. Let's just stop and say, wow, science, technology, man, people know how to do things. And I don't know how to do anything, but people do. And I love it. But then Job wraps up this first section of the practical wisdom. People know how to go get stuff from the source, but do people know where to find wisdom? Do we know the source of wisdom? I think the answer to that is no. We got iPhones and Wi-Fi and artificial intelligence, but we still don't know how to, come in from the garage and go talk to our teenage daughter. We know how to do all this stuff, but we still don't know how to, make a marriage last. There's so much that continues to escape us. Nobody knows where to find wisdom. It's not found among the living. It's not here, says the ocean. It's not here, says the sea. We can go to the bottom of the ocean and drill for oil, but we can't find wisdom, The next little section, it can't be mined. Wisdom can't be mined or found, I think, in that first section. The second section here, it can't be bought. And again, the refrain in the first section of the refrain was people know how. Now the refrain is it's worth more. It's worth more. It can't be bought. It's worth more than all the gold. It's worth more than coral and jasper. It's worth more than the purest gold. Wisdom is worth more. So again, a refrain there in verses 20, 21, and 22. Do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find anything, any understanding, And then once more, it's hidden from the creatures. It's hidden from the eyes of all humanity. Even the sharp-eyed birds in the sky can't discover it. So again, wisdom, it can't be mined, it can't be found, it can't be bought. And then the final, verse here, the final section, God alone understands the way to wisdom. So if everything has its source, wisdom has its source in God and God alone. And I love this. The only path to true wisdom is the path that God marks out for your feet. And then ultimately the fear of the Lord is true wisdom. I love it. With that, again, Job's getting there. He's beginning to get there. And he starts out with this, God decides how hard the winds should blow. God decides how much rain should fall. He made the laws, for the rain. He laid out a path for the lightning. God knows what he's doing. Again, we're going to get there. God himself will show up and flatten Job with the complexity of everything that he knows and does. But Job gets a little bit of it right here. It's a whisper of wisdom. God knows what he's doing. Now, in the next 3 chapters of Job's soliloquy, just understand the structure. So step back with me and understand. Chapter 29 is Job talking about his former life of comfort and prosperity. So chapter 29 is about his former life. And then coming up, chapter 30 is about the present misery, where he is now. And then chapter 31 is his final words, and it's his final oath, okay? Final oath of righteousness and integrity. But let's look at chapter 29 before we're done today. I long for the years gone by, Job says, when God took care of me. I think this is just the saddest, sweetest, most beautiful chapter, and honestly, don't you just love it? I long for the days when God lit up the way before me and I walked safely through the darkness. Now, to stop, remember that when Job first started talking back in, chapter 3, he's like, I curse the day I was born. I curse the day light ever shined upon my sorry, Job's not saying that anymore. And I've been trying to help you see it as we read the way in which Job's getting stronger. Job's learning some things. He doesn't see it yet, but can't you see it? Because he's not saying, I curse the day I was born. I hate my life. I wish I'd have never been born. That's not what he's saying anymore. He says, man, I loved my life, and it's beautiful. Because in our pain, sometimes we just like, man, I hate it all. But no, it's not all. It's not all, worthless and meaningless. Some of it was really good. And now Job's able to go back and go, I loved walking in the light, and he's just not saying, I wish I'd never been born. He's going back and going, man, my life was good, And I just think there's something beautiful to it. Whereas Job at one point would have just thrown it all away, now he's going back through and saying, no, man, I want to hang on to some of this because it was good. I'm hanging on to the memory. If it's all gone, I still want to remember it as good, When I was in my prime, God's friendship was felt in my home. The Almighty was still with me. My children were around me. Man, I've lived long enough to go, man, those were good days, when my grown-up son was a little boy, playing Legos in the floor. I mean, you know what I mean? This is just Job going, man, I miss those days. I miss those days so much. Those were the days I went to the city gate, took my place among the honored leaders. I mean, I'm old enough now, y'all. I can remember, just sitting in being in a meeting with the Kentucky Baptist Convention or whatever, and I'm in my prime, and I'm just sitting there, and now I walk in, I'm the oldest guy in most of these rooms, just thinking, what happened to me? Where all these kids come from? Get them out of here. I mean, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Those were the days, all who heard me praised me, all who saw me spoke well of me. Verse 18, I thought, surely I will die surrounded by my family after a long, good life. Whew. Yeah, I mean, Job's just thinking, man, my life was just so good. It was just all so beautiful. Everyone listened to my advice. Now everybody's sitting around him, trying to give him advice. But Job just remembers the day. People long for me to speak as they long for rain. They drank my words like a refreshing spring rain. Like a chief, I told him what I would do, and I lived like a king among his troops and comforted those who mourned. This is Job sitting in ashes, scraping his own scab, saying, man, I just remember when I used to comfort people, Yeah, you ever laid in the hospital bed thinking, I used to visit people in the hospital, and here I am in the hospital. That's just Job. He just recognizes, man, how everything changed, how everything turned around. And I didn't see this coming, but man, I remember my life as it was, and I remember it good, Like I say, Job isn't as far as he's going to get by the end of this, but he's come a long way. And I love watching a man's heart grow stout, It's so good. So we'll pick up right here. It'll be Monday. We'll pick up on Monday, chapters 30 and 31. Again, it's the end of Job's speech, and I just love it. Chapter 30, where we'll pick up, he's going to talk about his present misery. This is where he's been, now where he is, and he's going to talk about his integrity at the end. It's good stuff, y'all. I love it. So listen, I think I invited you to church yesterday, not knowing what day it was. So anyway, to try again today, come to church on Sunday, you guys. Woodburn Baptist Church, 8, 9:30, 11, preaching out of Nehemiah. I'd love to see you in person if you're not worshiping with me in person. Otherwise, I will see you Monday, 10 o'clock.